Welcome to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast.
My name is Jen Clark.
And I'm Elka Clark. We are a mother-daughter team who started our Zazzle e-commerce businesses over 10 years ago and have sold over $15 million worth and counting of products on Zazzle with our designs on them.
We had so many people asking us how we did this, so we created the Profit by Design Academy, a 12-month coaching program where you will implement the 5 strategies we have used for success on Zazzle.
When we aren't coaching our amazing clients to reach millions in sales on Zazzle, we love cooking food from places all over the world that we've traveled to, jet-setting to our next dream destination, spending quality time with our close friends and family, or having fun creating our next bestsellers in our own Zazzle businesses.
In this podcast, we share actionable steps you can take to make money in your online business using Zazzle. Each episode will take you one step closer to creating that perfect business, which will give you the freedom to live your dream life.
We believe that you can have anything you dream of as long as you work smarter, not harder. We're here to give you the tools you need to make your dream life happen. So let's get started. Well, hey there, it's Elka.
And Jen, and welcome to another episode of the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast. And today we have a very, very special guest, one of our own clients, Michele Davies. And she has been so gracious to come on this podcast with us to talk about her Zazzle journey and how she started with us and her transformation throughout this process.
Yeah, and this theme for the podcast is talking about the new direction in life that someone can take and coming into your own, even if it's at a stage in her life when she thinks she's supposed to be retiring, but she's just blossoming and getting going. And so we can't wait to hear her story and get to know her a little bit more. Well, we know her, but I want our audience to know her a little bit more because I think it'll be very inspirational. And so we're going to just talk a little bit about her journey, what she's all about, and she's going to give us a little bit of a tip maybe for what others are in her position, and then a fun fact just for fun to finish this off with the podcast. Yeah. So let's get started. Welcome, Michele.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome.
You're very welcome.
It's a pleasure and an honor.
Yeah, and I just wanted to pop in really quickly to everyone who's listening. The first time that we actually saw Michele in person, we're doing this on Zoom right now, we're recording for the podcast, but that was in Mallorca, and it was such a lovely experience. Michele actually came to one of our retreats, and that was the beginning of our journey together, and that's now, 3.5 years later, 4 years later almost, so we're just super happy to have you within our community and grow with us.
Thank you. That trip to Mallorca was a real turning point in my life. I had just started on Zazzle a few months earlier, and I was very, very lost as I was not used to using the computer. I was a craft worker all my life and used my hands. And this was a really daunting, big experience for me. And the next thing I knew, I had signed up and was taking a flight, 2 flights, joined you in Mallorca with people who were really, really good at this already. Your top sellers were there. And I was so lost, but I just listened very carefully to everything. And the biggest thing I came out from there with was that I could do this. You managed to give me the confidence that it didn't matter where I was starting from, I would be able to do this. And that was a lesson that's actually gone through all aspects of my life now. I still have you in my head, that voice saying, you can do this. So thank you. Not only was the weather great and the entertainment was great and the company was great, something very long lasting came out of that trip for me.
And I think it definitely, the point that you touched on, that you thought that you couldn't do it, we encouraged you, and we already knew from the beginning that you were able to. But it was just so wonderful to see your transition, even within that week that we were together in Mallorca. And then now, many years later as well, you've blossomed, like Elka mentioned previously. It's just wonderful to see that process.
Yeah, and what I find is we do a lot of talking about how you're on Zazzle and you make tons of money, which Michele is making money, but at her own pace. She's not one of our top earners yet, but I think I would say she's had the most benefit of doing the work, like being on the Zazzle platform and transforming, because she has taken on her power. She has embraced the ability to just, like she said, I can do it. And that is more powerful than how much money you make. It's because it translates not only into other areas of life, which we all have life experiences, which we're dealing with. And Michele's just had a couple of her own that have been really tough. And what's really, really important is that it's that confidence. It's the thing that we always look for, right? Even as a little child, I was always like hoping that my parents would be proud of me. But I have to be proud of myself. And so when I did that Zazzle journey for me, I realized after I'd done it that I had my own business. And that's what Michele is going through right now. It's like, this is for me and I can do it for myself and that I'm capable of doing it. And that's, as soon as we saw Michele, it's like, she's burdened down with so many things. We just got to show her that it's okay. She can do it. She's got it. And we trust her and we believe in her. And now she believes in herself.
Yeah, and I also think that if you are a creative person, you have to have a creative outlet, and it doesn't matter what it is. And I've moved through a couple of different aspects of creativity during my life, from textiles to mosaic. And now the computer was a huge, big change, but you can still use the same creativity. You just need to learn new skills around it. And I think that's something that was an eye-opener to me at this stage in my life. I'm in my 60s, and to be able to say, well, you know what, I'm going to have an online business and I'm going to learn how to use the computer. And, you know, that opened up, yes, a lot of hard work and a lot of self-doubt, but also just so many opportunities. And working with you during your courses and with the community that you've built has really, well, it's just skyrocketed that part of the journey. Because if I was sitting on my own with the computer trying to work it out, I would still be, you know, on page one. But I find it exciting. I think that's it. And I have found a way of being creative now that wasn't around when I started. I mean, you couldn't, the computer wasn't invented. You couldn't do anything like this. And for years, while trying to sell my textiles, I was thinking, there must be a new way of doing this. Look at the computer, look at social media, look at what's happening in the world. This isn't the only avenue open to me, but I didn't know where to go with it. And then it all started to fall into place. And I found Zazzle and I found you straight away. And well, that changed my life. That opened all the doors and all the encouragement I could need and the community I needed.
Oh, I'm so excited. That's really awesome. Yeah. Like, I don't have anything else to say. You just said it so eloquently. It's awesome. Because, yeah, this is something that people really need to hear. Like, you're only in your 60s. You're a young, wonderful woman. But people always complimented my mom when she was, like, she just got the latest iPhone. She got the latest computer. And all of her friends were like, how do I, like, turn this thing on? Where she was going, like, you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. And so I guess that already gave me also that impetus to do that, an incentive. Because when I first started working in my day job, that was the first thing that was you have a laptop, you can take that home and you can work outside of the office when you're not tied to a big, huge box. And then Instagram was only, last 3 years? Yeah. So much has changed so quickly. And we forget that even though it's daunting and new and different, you just have to know how to do it. That's it. And if children can figure out how to swipe the TV because they're so used to swiping their iPad, then we know it's all made for everyone to be have it as easy as possible. But what people forget is that they can easily do it, A, but B is that we're allowed to step into that space as the older generation. We're allowed to just be successful in this way rather than just it being something for young people. Mm-hmm. And I don't usually talk about my age because I don't feel any more than 29, even though I'm turning 60 this year. But that's how everyone should feel, just having that excitement, that opportunity. And I could see it with Michele. I know she's doing it. She's taking her laptop and her iPad and she's asking questions and she's a little bit mortified that she's has to ask the question, but she's asking the question. And I love that because it just allowed her step by step to just be able to figure it out, because it's the creativity, it's the ideas, it's the knowledge of what you're capable of with all of your experiences that you've had with multiple places where you've started, hand-worked creative businesses, that you then realize, okay, first of all, this is so much easier because it's online. And secondly, it costs less because it's online. And then thirdly, this is so cool because I'm trying something absolutely new and who knows where this could lead.
I think actually Michele is even more talented than most of us, myself included, because she learned how to take her artwork, which we mentioned, but she had to learn how to scan it, how to resize it, how to change the colors. And she's created wonderful, beautiful pieces of artwork with her watercolors that she has painted and has taken, as you mentioned, your physical artwork and created beautiful creations on the digital space. And yeah, I didn't realize that the computer didn't exist when you were first starting out with your artwork, but it's very true. In the last couple of years, when I first started working on Zazzle, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, none of those things existed. And now in our day and age where technology is so rapidly evolving, everyone has to learn quickly, and that's easily achieved. But as well, in terms of like, let's say the H generation, or just even your self-confidence, the fact that you have come to the terms of saying, no, I can do this and I want to move forward and I'm looking forward to the future and there's no end. The possibilities are endless. And that's just extremely empowering for myself included, to know that when I grow up and get older, then I want to be exactly like you. And there are many people in your age group who are, interested in possibly getting to where you're at, or discovering new possibilities for themselves. And they need that inspiration. And you are that beacon of light for them.
Yeah, definitely that is
Very nice that you say so. But I think the other part of it is you have to go through the periods where you have to ask the questions and you don't know, and you feel like the dunce in the class again, because you're changing to a completely different way of doing things. And it's very important during those times to believe that the end goal is worth it and that you will find a way. And I think that's where your groups are fantastic, because you're allowed to ask any silly question. And if you remember, for about 2 years, you kept saying to me, Michele, you have to ask a question. And I was so shy to ask questions because I felt so bad at having to ask the questions. And a lot of the times I didn't know what to ask. And that's why I love these groups, because there are people in there who ask the question. And I think, why didn't I think of that? That's been sort of niggling for ages. And I've never thought to form it into a question. And also, you have complete beginners in there as well, which I find so encouraging, because they ask questions and I think, oh, I know that. I know the answer. And I wouldn't have known a year ago. And so I love when they ask questions and I already know the answers to, just as I love somebody asking a question that's more complicated that I hadn't thought I needed to know or to ask. So I think you need confidence at my stage in life, but also you need to not feel bad about going in there and not knowing. Because, we were sort of used to knowing our life a bit by this stage. But to put yourself in a position where you don't know things is the only way to grow and move on. And it's really important to be okay with that. And I think that's where to have people who believe in you and give you confidence really, really helps, so that you can come away a little bit embarrassed from something and say, oh, should have known that. And then think, but you know what? These people believe in me. All the groups believe in me. I believe in all of them. We're going to get through this.
Have you heard about the Profit by Design Academy yet?
Are you looking for the perfect online business or side hustle that gives you monthly cash flow so you can live your dream life?
Are you a new or current Zazzle creator who is struggling to figure out how to make Zazzle work for you, worried that you're wasting your time and using the throw spaghetti against the wall to see if it sticks trick method, and unsure about how you can start and scale your Zazzle business?
Then the Profit by Design Academy is a perfect solution for you. You will feel confident, supported, and clear on how you will create a financial abundance side hustle using the Zazzle marketplace.
Imagine having access to the exact 5 strategies that we've used to build our Zazzle business and scale it, which we have sold over $15 million worth of Zazzle products so far with that method.
And that's not just us. We've helped our coaching clients in the Profit by Design Academy sell over $30 million worth of Zazzle products combined.
We invite you to join this incredible coaching experience where you receive the proven roadmap and hands-on support to accelerate your Zazzle business and make your dream of achieving passive income a reality.
Head on over to the show notes to grab the link and we will see you on the inside, or go to elkaclark.com/start-and-scale.
Now let's get back to the show.
I think that's the best tip that anyone can. I'm giving goosebumps because, yeah, it's true. So many of us actually, like even at any age, A, you don't know actually what to ask. B, if you do have a question, you think, okay, it must be a really stupid question because I haven't heard it before. Or, if I ask this question to someone else, they'd probably go like, what's your problem? Whereas that's the whole reason that everyone can grow, is because they're not afraid to ask. And even if it's like, if you ask the question, what should I know right now? Or what should I be asking right now? is still a great question. And I think that's a perfect tip for our listeners in this age, because that's the way to grow. I love it. I love it so much.
And even myself and Elka, we're in other masterminds or other coaching programs.
yeah.
And sometimes we don't know the questions that we
exercise.
need to ask as well. And exactly what Michele mentioned is that we listen and then we say, oh, wow, that's a really great question. And it still actually resonates with you too.
Yeah.
And I hope that later on you don't feel bad about not asking the question, because that's also one thing that you shouldn't feel bad about. But
Yeah.
it's true. You get inspired by the community that you're with. And we always tell people within our courses and in our coaching and masterminds that you need to be within a group of people who inspire you and motivate you, and always surround yourself with the 5 people that you surround yourself with needs to be inspirational, and they need to give you that motivation and help you. And either they're mentors or friends, but you need to be at that same level, because if you don't have that encouragement or that outside inspiration, then you as your own, even though you're extremely motivated, maybe yourself by your own. And we actually mentioned or talked about this before we started recording this podcast, that, you know, when you're alone, you feel a little bit discouraged or you don't know the right answers all the time. And so sometimes when you're within that community, you get that sense of support and also acknowledgement, and then also assurance, right? Where you feel like you are actually in the right place and you're doing the right thing. Maybe you're not doing the right thing at that time, but it feels good. No?
Yeah. So if someone else was like listening right now and they really resonate with you and probably like with me, because I'm like the same age group, what would you give them as advice in terms of if they wanted to start something where they really felt like they could accomplish something and possibly earn more money, pocket money, side hustle, or even bring it to a business where it's earning a substantial amount of money? What would you suggest for them? Like, what's your advice, having gone through this experience?
Well, I think there's only 2 choices there. One is to do it and one is not to do it.
Very
And I
wise.
think you have to figure out how badly you want it, how much you're prepared to put into it, and how much pleasure and joy you'll get out of doing it. Will it make you feel good? Will it bring you down? Just work this simple equation out. And if you still think you want to do it, have a go. All you can do is find it's not the right route. I did pottery once in my life, and at the time I was saying to my dad, I'm not sure. And he said, Michele, do it for 6 months and you'll know. And he said, and if it's wrong, don't worry about it. You will have learned. And I just thought that was fabulous advice. And the same with this. Have a go. If you really think you might like it, have a go. You've nothing to lose. And especially on a platform like Zazzle, because there's no outlaying of money. You don't have to have stock. You don't have to pay to put your products up there. You've nothing to lose. And there's an awful lot to gain.
Wonderfully said.
Really, really good advice. Can you speak a little bit to the time involved? Because you said give it a go for 6 months. Would you say that 6 months is enough time to really know whether to Zazzle?
Well, that was my dad's advice about pottery.
Oh, I know. But I'm bringing up a little point here about timing, especially you. You can speak to that a lot.
Well, yes, I think that it depends. You see, you can do 6 months by doing half an hour a week, in which case you wouldn't get very far. Or you can do a committed 6 months, and then you will know. And then you'll probably be hooked. Once you start using the Zazzle design tool, you'll probably be totally hooked. So I would say definitely by 6 months, you won't have earned very much, but you'll have gained loads of experience. And it will be the foundation for the earnings you will make in the future. So I think you can't go into the Zazzle business thinking, I will really make my full-time living doing this. I mean, we all have stories of how much we earned in the first year, and it was never very much. But it was a huge learning curve, and it was what you needed to do to get onto the platform where you do earn. So I think 6 months, yes, you'll know whether you even like doing it in 6 months for sure. And you'll see some money coming in as well, which is so exciting. The beginnings of the money coming in is very good.
Yeah. And that's what I love about Michele's journey is the personal development, the work ethic, the belief in herself. That is way more than any money could ever, like some of the people that are doing well right now, they've already done well in another business. So it was easy for them to slip in and just follow the steps, right? Whereas even for me, I'd never done a business, like an online business. I'd always been academic. And for me, that was a huge learning curve to just decide, yes, I want to do a business. And then also sit there and go like, okay, after 2 years, I'd earned so little. Do I really want to keep this going? Is this truly me? And I just digging deep personally and saying, okay, It actually is. It's really great. I want this. What do I need to do to fix what my issues are with the earning aspect of it? But in the meantime, I'd grown a lot. I'd learned a lot. I picked up a whole bunch of new skills. And I felt really proud of where I'd gotten to, even though it wasn't earnings that were, measuring what my success rate was. And it certainly has proven since then in terms of the amount of money that I've made and Jen's made and now Michele is making, which is awesome.
Well, I can resonate with that, with the amount of confidence it gives you and the way it gives your life a boost is definitely invaluable.
Yeah.
The money's great as well, but that part for me has been enormous. Yeah. And it's resonated through the rest of my life.
Well, I remember that we have to explain to the listeners, when we did our first mastermind, it was actually a retreat mastermind where we met on location. Since COVID, we've always been doing these online. And at that point, Michele was there, Brandon, who's one of our top earners, was there, and his wife. And then also the one other person that was there was Gree. And Gree is also one of our gold pro designer Zazzle creators, who's been obviously in our training, and she's far exceeded the $100,000 earnings mark already. That was like way back. And then, we were just having snacks on the Jen's terrace, and I said, well, why did you start Zazzle? I was asking Gree, and she goes, because I want something of my own. I wanted to prove that I could start and grow, make something of my own, because I was just helping everyone else live their lives. And that just has never left me. It was just so obvious when I did it. I wanted to just earn money and take care of the family. But when she just said, I just want to do this for myself, it's like, holy smokes, what a wise thing to say. And I think that's what's happened with you, Michele, inadvertently, right? Because you did start
also
out that
because
way.
I've always worked at my craft. I was at home with my children, so I was in that fortunate position, but I was still working part-time with my craft. But it was very, very hard to make money, incredibly hard to make money. And I want to be able to make money. I want to be able to sit back and say, I have made this amount of money, and I don't even have a figure in my head, but it's a big one. Yeah. It's a big non-specific figure that I've made through my creativity. That I've always wanted to do that, and now is my chance to do it.
Woohoo! Just do the
snap.
Yeah.
And you give me the tools to do it with.
I love it.
I was going to tie in, I guess, the whole thing with the fact that Michele is making money through her creativity and online now. And I started my online business because I wanted to travel. But a fun fact about Michele is something about traveling and living in different places. So I wanted to know if she could share a little bit for us about that.
Well, I'm somebody who never thought they would leave their home country of Ireland, but I've ended up living in 4 countries in 2 different hemispheres. It's been a nice life, an interesting life.
And then now your business too, and hopefully in the future when we can travel more because of COVID, but you're building up your business so that potentially you can go and travel whenever you want, or now more recently spend time with your family, which is growing. And we're really excited that you've become a grandmother and you can spend more time with your grandchildren in the future.
That's true. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. We loved having you. We have loved that the paths crossed back in Mallorca in 2019. And we love to see your growth, and just it warms my heart every time in terms of the confidence that you've gained and the transformation you've made and how determined and excited you are about your future, which is all you can ask for, right? It's just lovely to be able to say, I still have a lot more that I need to accomplish, and I can do it with the tools that are right in front of me.
Mm-hmm. And I wanted to say too, although Michele says that she was very nervous to ask questions and to show up, she has been one of the most dedicated clients that we have in terms of coming to most of our calls. I know the time difference is a bit funny because she does live in Europe and we're in North America, but coming up and showing up to the calls, asking questions later on, but then also absorbing all of the material and being super dedicated. And we always tell our clients, the more you put into whatever it is if you're learning or, part of a course, or whether it be with us or just life in general, the more you put in, the more you receive out of that. And I can definitely see all the amazing results that Michele is reaping in the benefits of, because she's just been, 100% there all the time. And even when it's a late night and whatnot, she always is there. She's always listening and absorbing.
No, and even when there's a lot of stuff going on in her personal life, it actually almost is a bit of a calm and a centering. of being able to say, okay, at least I can work on this. I have control over this. Yeah.
We're extremely happy that you were part of our community, and we love having you with us. And we can't wait to see what comes of your Zazzle journey, whether that be with Zazzle or just life in general, because you've progressed so much on all aspects of your journey in life and being with us. Yeah.
So thanks so much for joining us. I'm sure the listeners are just going to be so excited when they realize how much value and gold we've dropped here and inspired people all over the world.
Thank you for having me. It's been lovely to chat to you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Michele. It's been wonderful as well. And to all of our listeners, thank you so much for listening to another episode of our podcast. And we will see you in the next one.
See you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to the Creative and Ambitious Entrepreneur Podcast with us, Jen and Elka Clark.
We hope this episode has given you actionable steps to building your online business that gives you the monthly cash flow you want while working less and living more.
If you've enjoyed this episode, please take a minute to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast. Each review helps us reach more entrepreneurs like you working to create a profitable e-commerce online business.
Follow us on Instagram at Ms. Jen Clark and at Elka Clark, and DM us with your biggest takeaway from today's episode. See you back here next week.